And I'm thinking of all the cases I handled as I'm listening to this woman who's doing a tremendous job, and the angst and heartache and heartbreak. And I think in the legal system, sometimes we become a little antiseptic. Understandably, the defense lawyer does his job, the prosecutor does his job, the judge does their job. But, you know, wow, there's so much human velocity of emotion that's going on here. It's heartbreaking to hear. And I was just, again, thinking to myself, gosh, I wonder with all those victims' families that I represented and got convictions who never got an opportunity to speak like this woman is.
Yeah, and as attorneys, you know, we have to, Bob, like you said, detach. Otherwise, you can't make it through.
Right.
You know, you really can't.
No,
so it's not like saying anything bad.
Survival.
You just can't make it through. But one thing I did notice, there's clearly no love lost between the mom and this defendant. And I noticed how uncomfortable she looks listening. And I got to think to myself, Bob, that's part of what this is about. You talk about there was a time when victims didn't get this opportunity. Well, now they do. Victims' rights, very important in the justice system. And part of that is so that the defendant can hear these things and can be made uncomfortable. Don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's one huge cathartic thing for the family. That's number one. Number two, I do agree with you. It's an opportunity for a defendant to listen to the gravity of their crimes. Although I think, and I go back in my own mind, most of the defendants I prosecuted in homicide cases, I think could care less. But I do agree with you. I think you kind of alluded to this. There did seem to be an impact on her. You know, there are cases that you have where people do things in the heat of passion and in a moment, and they're otherwise law-abiding people, and under any other circumstance would never do anything, like take another person's life, and they do, and they're like, oh my God, look at what I did. And I guess we could put ourselves in the position of somebody like that, and you would feel guilty for the rest of your life. Although I don't see with many clients, I do believe it got to her a little bit here.
Yeah, I think it did too. Let me just ask you this quickly. When you were in court, would most defendants then convicted of whatever crime speak during sentencing? Do you have an opinion on that? It seems pretty common now.
I'd say, that's a great question. I mostly, when I was doing it, the defendants did not speak because they had appeals that were pending, and they didn't want to say anything in the sentence that could jeopardize that. That's good lawyering from the defense side. And, yeah, that's what I got to say about that. I will tell you, just as a defense lawyer, I did handle a homicide case where the victim's family got up after a plea bargain. And, boy, I'll tell you what, if I could have been anywhere else in the world other than sitting there listening to the victim impact testimony, I would have been there.
Wow.
It's terrible.
It is hard to listen to, but there's a purpose, a reason, and, of course, these are going to continue in this case. In the meantime.